The BMW X3 helped launch the compact luxury crossover segment more than a decade ago, and the model has grown even stronger over the years. The 2015 BMW X3 is one of the standouts in this competitive class, and is an ideal match for shoppers seeking both sporty driving dynamics and family-friendly utility. So, let's go ahead and check out this 2015 BMW X3. Now the F25 platform is the second generation of the BMW X3, being released in 2010 for the 2011 model year, and it's almost as large as the original X5. So in true BMW fashion, superior handling and performance are at the heart of the X3's appeal. The typical luxury SUV is pretty uninspiring on winding canyon roads, but the X3 breaks the mold with sharp reflexes that make it a top pick in its class for driver engagement. Now, as far as styling goes on the vehicle, it's quite handsome and quite elegant too. However, I don't think it's as elegant as the angular looking GLK, but it still has a pretty nice classy look to it. Of course, you do have the kidney grille design. That's a classic BMW trait here, but overall it's very BMW familiar here in styling. Now here goes the key fob for the vehicle. As you can see, it's pretty basic BMW stuff here. You do have your unlock, and then your lock is right here, and then to release your tailgate, and then you also do have your panic button too. It is a black sapphire metallic exterior with a black Nevada leather interior. The basic power driver seat functions, power recline, and 4-way power lumbar too, and your memory seat settings for 2 people. Love the seat designs in the X3. Now stepping on into the vehicle, has a pretty low step-in height here. Of course, it is a small crossover, so of course it has to have a low step-in height. That's one of the benefits of having a small crossover. But overall, it's a decent looking cabin here, very BMW familiar here. Now you do have push button ignition, just put your foot on the brake, hit the button to start. Nice. Leather wrapped steering wheel. Love the steering wheel. Has a nice grip to it. Very thick steering wheel rim. Coming to your transmission, you have an 8-speed automatic. Up for reverse. Putting the vehicle into reverse, of course, displays your rear view camera with guidance lines and trajectory. And then you also do have rear parking sensors too. You can also change the brightness of this rear view camera, and then the contrast, and then you can turn off your parking aid lines, and then you have your obstacle markings too. And then to go into drive, just put it like that, down for drive, and then push for park. And then you also do have manual shiftability. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights and the hazards too. All windows are fully automatic in the X3. And let's go ahead and pop the hood and check out the engine bay here. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signals. You also do have BMW's xDrive all-wheel drive system, which is an option for the X3. High intensity discharge headlights with LED daytime running lights and your fogs too. Under the hood you will find a pretty potent and pretty fuel efficient 2-liter inline 4-cylinder twin power turbo with high precision direct injection, earning EPA numbers of 21 in the city and 28 on the highway with 24 combined. But this engine is pretty powerful enough for your daily commute when you're trying to pass somebody. and it's also reasonably fuel efficient. This powertrain delivers a pretty good 240 horses with 260 pound-feet of torque. Now if you're looking for a little more power out of the X3, you can step up to the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbo. And then added for the 2015 model year, you can get a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbo diesel if you're looking for the most fuel economy out of the X3. However, all powertrains are pretty potent and reasonably fuel efficient. Now essentially, the pricing for the X3 starts at the S-Drive 28i, which starts at $38,400, and then you have the X-Drive 28i, which starts at $40,400. Then you have the X-Drive 35i, which starts at $45,100, and then you have the X-Drive 28D, which starts at $41,900. Now essentially, the X3, the pricing of it is on the higher end in the market. Now as far as competitors go of the X3, competitors range from the Acura RDX, the Mercedes-Benz GLK, and then you also do have the Audi Q5. But like I said, the X3 is one of the most sportiest. Now the X3 faces pretty impressive competitors, each with its own strengths. The Audi Q5 is the most synonymous with the X3 as it offers a similar blend of driving fun, utility, and engine variety. The 2015 Porsche Macan is the class leader in handling and performance, but is significantly more expensive than the X3 and offers less cargo capacity. On the other end of the spectrum, you have the 2015 Acura RDX, which is the most spacious and family-friendly and offers a way better value as well, not to mention Acura's traditional reliability. And then you also do have the Mercedes-Benz GLK, which impresses with its uniquely angular elegance, but it's not as family-friendly as the X3, falling short in both cargo space and rear legroom. Coming to the rear, you have pretty traditional angular styled BMW taillights. Rear window wiper with a rear window defroster, and your third brake light on the top too. Total vehicle price for this particular X3 costs $50,575. EPA estimates, like I said, are 21 in the city and 28 on the highway. Coming to your armrest, it's nice and soft touch with stitching, and on the mid door panel too, and then on the upper door panel as well. But that's to be expected when you buy this kind of luxury vehicle. And let's go ahead and rev it up and see how she sounds. Now, as far as build and materials go inside of the X3, it's traditional kind of BMW in here. You have nice soft touch materials all around the place. However, there's not a whole lot of stitching. Like, there's no stitching on the dashboard, that's what I noticed. However, there's stitching on the mid-door panel and the armrests and on the center console lid too. Overall, it's a very nicely furnished cabin here. And then the build quality is typical BMW fashion here as far as the build quality goes. No panel gaps or anything of that kind of nature. And most of the plastics feel like the highest of quality. Coming to your center stack controls, you have your AC buttons over here, dual zone automatic climate control, your fan speeds, then your temperatures. You also do have heated seats too, and then your different zones. Coming down here, you have your optical disc drive, and then your presets, AM, FM, all of that good stuff. Coming down here, you have your cup holders, And then your electronic parking brake and your different driver selectable modes, which I will get to in just a second. Your traction control, your downhill assist, and your parking sensors button. Coming right here, you have your nicely padded center console armrest. And then you also do have a USB port, an auxiliary input, and then a 12-volt power outlet. Overall, the center console storage can be better. It is pretty tiny, I have to say. Coming up here, you have your auto-dimming rearview mirror with Garage Home Link, SOS Safety Connect up here, your interior illumination lighting. And then you also do have a panoramic sunroof. Definitely gives the cabin a much more airy feel inside of here. Feels much more open. Now coming right here, this control right here and the dial and these set of buttons are all for the iDrive system. Now as far as the iDrive system goes, I love the rendering, the crisp and clearness of it. It's one of the best in the business now. And when this iDrive system debuted way back in 2002, they have greatly improved it. Coming right here, you have your multimedia, you have your CD, DVD, and then you also do have Bluetooth streaming audio, your auxiliary input, all of that good stuff, and then your USB too. Coming to your telephone, you have your phone book, your redial, received calls, and then you could dial a number, and then what Bluetooth devices you have hooked up. And if you want to go back, you simply just go like this. And then coming to your navigation system, here's your map. The map is very clear, easy to read. The rendering of it is superb in typical BMW fashion here. Live traffic. You have your traffic list, detour, traffic information, the traffic flow, traffic icons, and you can turn that off or on. Coming right here, you have your different points of interest for your destination. You can do many different searches, like an online search, an A through Z search, and a category search. Fuel, gas stations, BMW service, and then parking, and then a park and ride. And then you can change the different map views, show your destination, display the current location, start guidance. Coming to the radio, if you want to tune your radio, you just click on radio right here, and then you tune it with the dial. Pretty easy to use. And then you have your presets, of course. Satellite radio, AM. You can enter the channel you want. Now, coming to the manually entering in an address, you can do it by voice, or you can do it manually by the dial and pushing enter, or you can do by the touchpad right here, which they copied it from Audi's system. Audi was the first one to come out with a touchpad, but I'm going to draw a 2, see if it recognizes it. 2. Then I'm going to draw a 3. 2. Oh, they recognize the 2 on that one. 3. 4. However, I think it's just much faster to just manually enter it in, just like this, instead of doing the touchpad. It's kind of useless to me, but that's just my opinion. And then you can also enter in your destination by voice. Navigate to 8825 Wilshire Boulevard, Beverly Hills, California.
Processing your input.
Come on. It does take a little bit of time.
8825 Wilshire Boulevard, Beverly Hills. Start guidance, or add as another destination.
Start guidance.
Route guidance started.
So it's pretty good with the voice recognition. However, it does take a little bit of time to recognize it. Now, as far as driving impressions go of the vehicle, it's very engaging to drive. It's very responsive. The steering isn't numb or anything of that nature. And like I said, it's one of the better handling vehicles in the class. Now, as far as the ride goes, the ride is also pretty comfortable and very compliant and very absorbent too. Now, as far as visibility goes in this vehicle, visibility is pretty good. You have lots of glass area all around, and outward visibility is decent as well. And it is decent to see out of thanks to lots of glass area. Now, as far as seating comfort goes in the vehicle, the seats are very well bolstered, very comfortable, and thigh support is superb too. Now, you also do have your heads-up display. You can also choose a different song from here. And then also it displays your speedometer too, what speed you're going. Pretty neat. Coming down here, you also do have a storage cubby that's very high quality in line with felt. You also do have the auto stop system, so when you're coming to a complete stop, the vehicle will actually shut off to save fuel and then restart again when you put your foot on the accelerator. However, it's not as intrusive to use as in the 3 Series. And I'm going to shut down the vehicle, and let's go ahead and check out the rear seat passenger space as well as the cargo capacity. You also do have a power tailgate. Cargo capacity, on the other hand, is decent. The rear seats also do fold down to maximize cargo room as well. But overall, cargo space isn't too bad. Then you have a little storage cubby right there. Coming to the rear, everything is the highest of quality. Still nice stitching on the armrest, the mid-door panel, and soft to the touch everywhere. Now coming back here, thigh support can be a little bit better. The seats have kind of a reclined feeling to them, the way they're sculpted. It feels like you're in a reclined seat right now. You also do have your dual map pockets, rear air vents, storage cubby, a 12-volt power outlet, and then you also do have a rear center armrest with cup holders. The seats themselves, they're slightly firm. They don't have the most cushion to them. If you're looking for more cushion, you probably want to go with the RDX or the Lexus RX. But overall, it's still decently comfortable back here. But it doesn't have the most rear legroom in the class. If you're looking for more rear legroom, definitely the Acura RDX is going to suit you better. Full powered passenger seat with power recline and 4-way power lumbar. Your glove box, nice and damped and lined with felt, very high quality. Alright. So the 2015 BMW X3 is an excellent, if somewhat pricey choice for a luxury crossover SUV, with a broad selection of engines and wide-ranging talents. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.